of course, it's time for sports. And, well, the South African Football Association has accused Ghana of match fixing after they suffered a 1-0 defeat to Ghana in the 2022 World Cup Qualifier on November 14. That match was at the Cape Coast Stadium. Joy Sports' Oreku Ampofo joins me in the studio. Oreku, they filed a protest right after the match, we are told. Today they've been speaking at a news conference, giving details of what went into the protest.
Yeah, and that's been the case exactly. After the match, they did file their protest to FIFA. They didn't hide that. They said it right after the game. And today's press conference was just to brief everyone on what exactly went on in terms of the protest. And we can just take a look at the summary of the South African Football Association's petition to FIFA. Now, Donny Jordan, who's the president, says that there's a huge suspicion the match was fixed and claims he can prove betting spikes before major refereeing decisions were made. And then Rushin Deruk, who's the defender who actually held Daniel Amate, he says that he also alleges that decisions were already decided before the game, claiming that the referee promised to book him before the game started.
Really?
Yeah, so it's very shocking. And
wow.
It's all hearsay at this point, but Bafana coach Hugo Bruce says that he told his assistants that South Africa would lose the game after 15 minutes based on the decisions that he saw. And then former referee Ace Nkobo says he did his own independent analysis and 90.9% of decisions went against Bafana. He says that his analysis proves the bulk of decisions were poor in the first half.
Okay.
And SAFA have filed an official complaint but are yet to receive a response. So this was actually earlier in the day, but the response has just come a few minutes before we just walked into the studio with FIFA. And we'll go through that before we wrap up.
So that's what went into their complaint today.
Yeah.
Does Ghana have the opportunity to either challenge their claims? Before we even move to that, did they provide evidence, to back these claims they're making?
Well, FIFA responded to their protest, stating that yes, they did submit on the 15th, the day after the match, and they said that South Africa have attached 3 files. Now that includes payment receipts of their 1,000 Swiss franc, that's the protest fee, and then they've also attached the match commissioner's report, where the match commissioner admitted that South Africa said that they were taking this case to FIFA and CAF. And the third is South Africa establishing their case, basing it on match fixing, match manipulation, corruption, and then bribery. And so that was what FIFA said South Africa based their case on. Now FIFA have now said that they've put aside the disciplinary committee for this case, and they would start taking decisions on 23rd of November. However, that's where they will receive all information from South Africa and Ghana. And FIFA then went on to encourage Ghana that if Ghana has any information that they think would help with this protest, to defend their stance, they can also submit it before the 20th.
So it's not mandatory, but you have the opportunity to make an input if you think...
Yeah, if they do have any information that they think would help with investigations, they should do so before 20th. The sitting will start from the 23rd of November.
But so far, have we heard from the FA, from the president, the spokesperson, on these allegations being made by the South Africans?
Well, the morning after the game, the spokesperson spoke to Joy Sports exclusively, and he said that he thought Ghana played fairly, and he understands the South Africans feeling hard done by the decision. But Ghana themselves have had very difficult decisions, and refereeing decisions do happen, but they've not influenced it in any way. He understands that they are coming from a point of view where they can protest, and maybe that's the right thing to do. But from his personal point of view, that's Henry Asante-Chim, he doesn't think that this would go anywhere. So they were confident as a Monday. We cannot gauge their mood now because that's the only interview that they've granted since the match.
Okay. And one thing that I find a bit, ridiculous for want of a better expression, is the claim that even for betting, for these betting schemes we have, many of them predicted that Ghana was going to win by a penalty. And they've been speaking to that at the press conference as well.
Well, they did show some form of evidence in the press conference showing that there was a spike, people choosing a first half penalty right before the refereeing decision. And so I think they mentioned that they got that information from Bet365 in the UK. So It's all alleged at this point because you cannot really confirm where the information is coming from and who was the market of that betting, provider.
Exactly.
And whether it was really Ghanaians or are Ghanaians involved with this, or was it just the... But what we can establish is that in the protest submitted to FIFA, South Africa are not necessarily blaming Ghana. They are saying that they think the referee was manipulated. Okay. They've not mentioned whether it was by Ghana or not. But you can logically infer that if someone would manipulate the result and manipulate the referee, it would have to be Ghanaians. But then, yeah, they never said that exclusively.
Well, thank you, Oreku. Let's see how this goes.